No!
Shoot! Smash! Chop! Stomp! Shoot! Chop! Shoot! Chop! I see Yumis! What?
A roving Ork warhorde has torn through the Shrine World in a matter of days. The planetary defense forces proved to be of no challenge. Led by the brutal boss Bad Fangs, the Orks are about to tear down the Church of the Golden Scepter to build their new shiny cruiser, so they can take their WAAAGH to the surrounding system. But salvation for the world comes in the form of a Black Templars crusade. This desecration will not go unpunished in this narrative battle report. The mission is a modified denied resources from the chapter-approved 2025 Asymmetric mission pack, played at 1,000 points. There are 5 objective markers on the table, representing mobs of pilgrims, and each side can perform an action to either extract or cut down the pilgrims, which awards a number of victory points depending on where the objectives are. This is a modified version of the mission in which both sides are able to perform the action instead of just the defender, and is totally not because I misread the mission, but it was a fun game, so who cares. Boss Bad Fangs brings a warhorde detachment, bringing to bear 3 individual Death Killer War Trites, which are represented by the Gorgrunta models, which are the Orks riding the giant boars, because I wanted my Orks to look more primal rather than more Mad Max, with one of them having the battle trait Ride 'em Down from the Orks CODEX, which gives a +1 to advance and charge rolls. Next is Boss Bad Fangs himself. He has the bestest boss loot, the Iron Gob, which deals mortal wounds at the start of the fight phase. In addition, he has the enhancement Super Cyborg Body, which grants him a 4+ Feel No Pain, making him a tough and killy boss. Finally, we have a unit of 5 knobs led by Boss Bad Fangs himself. They are the enforcers of his will, and the biggest, meanest Orks in the Horde, who will prove more than a match for any of the Templars. Who face the Orks with a Companions of Vehemence detachment, led by Marshal Johannes and Castellan Olbricht, alongside Execrator Eric and Emperor's Champion Keitel. For the first time in the new Codex, the Emperor's Champion is able to take a battle honor due to the Epic Hero keyword being removed, which now makes him eligible for battle honors. and so takes Instrument of the Emperor from the new Emperor's Champion Battle Traits table from the Anoint a Champion Templars Crusade rules, which allows him to gain 1 CP each time he destroys an enemy model. A unit of 5 Sword Brethren accompanies Marshal Johannes into battle aboard an Impulsor, while a unit of 10 Crusaders, which is also a new Relic Bearer unit, has upgraded a Power Fist to the Fist of Balthus, led by Execrator Eric. The Emperor's Champion also leads a squad of 10 Assault Intercessors, embarked upon an old school drop pod. Finally, we have a Storm Speeder Hammer Strike to be the vanguard of the Black Templars force. And with that begins the first turn as the Orks take the initiative. The big squad of Ork boys creeps carefully towards the ruined Administratum building. They are wary of the Execrator's advance and charge ability and stay a respectful distance away so they can be the ones charging rather than being charged. The Deathkiller Wartrike rides forward and begins the action to cut down the pilgrims. The truck with the tank busters rumbles forward to bring the Impulsor into line of sight. The sooner it is cracked open, the sooner the Yumis inside can be crumped. The other Deathkiller Wartrikes, or in this case, Ork Riders, advance behind the horde, taking control of the objectives left behind, so that the rest of the boys can focus on advancing and getting closer to combat.
When the boss ain't around, you listen to me.
The unit of 10 Ork boys clambers into the ruins and cry out shouts of challenge to the black armored knights. The rhino's hatches fly open. Boisterous thunder erupts as rockets fly. But does not destroy the Impulsor, and only serves to anger the Templars as they take their first turn. The Impulsor moves forward fearlessly, shielding the pilgrims from the incoming Ork fire, stray rounds bouncing off its shield dome. While from the church, Execrator Eric bids his Crusaders charge. The Storm Speeder circles around the church, getting a target lock on the closest Ork rider.
Let fly all missiles!
The Storm Speeder unleashes a tempest of crack missiles and melt-to-destroyer fire, completely annihilating the Ork rider. The Execrator's datasheet ability allows the Crusader squad to advance and charge. Amidst the glorious melee combat, Chaplain Eric challenges Weird Boy Brainstomper to a duel.
For the glory of the Imperium! Charge!
The sheer volume of the Templars' attacks, together with their Templar vow, easily annihilate the Orks. But the Greenskins use the stratagem, Orks is never beaten to fight on death.
Get him! Kill them all! No!
False accusations, put out the flame. Assassinations.
The ensuing melee is a brutal whirlwind of clashing swords and splintered armor, as both the Crusaders and the Ork boys are completely destroyed, except for two Ork boys, Squigface and Tuska. Unfortunately, the Crusaders' valiant stand was not enough to take the objective from the Orks. And one mob of pilgrims is cut down by the Ork riders, putting the Templars behind in points. And with both big blobs of melee threats removed, the Orks have the freedom of movement to dominate the board. As we hit into Orks Turn 2. The thrill of battle invigorates the Orks as the WAAAGH is called. The Ork rider moves closer to the impulsor, and the tank busters disembark from their transport. They scurry behind the ruined wall to assist the Ork rider in cracking the impulsor. And Boss Badfangs leaps into the transport as his knobs follows his example, although with far less skill. The truck advances and crashes through the wall, bringing the boss closer to the Crumpin.
Ork rocket fire from the left!
The remaining Ork rider gallops to the next mob of pilgrims.
No!
And begins performing the action to cut them down. The Orks are currently pulling ahead in victory points. The Ork boys advance towards the Storm Speeder, looking to charge it and take control of the objective from it. A shining meteor from the heavens descends to meet the green tide as the Emperor's Champion's drop pod performs rapid ingress.
Brothers, to battle! Strike them down with all your might!
They drop right into the fray, ready to charge either the Ork boys or the Ork rider. This changes nothing for the Orks, as the Orks open fire with everything they have onto the impulsor. Marshal Johannes is thrown out the back as the vehicle comes crashing into the ground. The disembarked sword brethren are sitting ducks for the Ork Rider.
Fire from the right side. Ork heavy gun.
The Ork Rider charges the Sword Brethren. But the Ork truck fails its 4-inch charge.
Let's get him!
The Ork boys make contact with the Storm Speeder, looking to pile into the objective later.
Come feel the bite of my sword! Purge the beasts! Die, scum!
The Assault Intercessors perform heroic intervention. It triggers the Emperor's Champion's ability that gives its unit an extra 2 inches of charge range. The opening swing of the Ork Rider lops off a Sword Brethren's leg, but else does little damage to the squad. But now is their turn to strike. The Emperor's Champion points his black sword towards the Rider and bellows out a challenge. Swinging his sword with deadly efficiency, the champion parries the Ork Rider's blows and deals fatal damage to the Greenskin with his strike profile.
This is the judgment of the righteous!
The champion steps over the body and places his black sword towards the Greenskin's neck. He lifts the fallen Greenskin's head for all to see. The Ork boys swing wildly into the Storm Speeder, dealing crippling damage, but not enough to destroy the vehicle. But with their consolidation move, brings them onto the objective and takes it away from the Storm Speeder. But the Templar pilots fire their engine. And burn an Ork boy, reclaiming the objective. The Assault Intercessors consolidate closer to the truck, their brutal melee bringing it down to only 2 wounds remaining. As the tide looks to turn for the Templars in their turn too. The Storm Speeder falls back from the Ork boys and onto the objective. But although taking it, is not able to perform the action. The Sword Brethren move closer to the Ork truck to charge the disembarking Orks. They ignore the tank busters and combine their fire with the Assault Intercessors into the Ork truck to blow it up.
You lot, fight like an orc!
With Boss Bad Fangs and his knobs disembark, the Sword Brethren and Assault Intercessors declare a charge against them.
Die, Greenskin!
But as they rush towards him, Boss Bad Fangs snatches a Sword Brother and snaps him in half with 3 mortal wounds because of his Crusade relic, the Iron Gob. But the rest of the Black Knights make contact.
This is the judgment of the righteous, scum!
I'm too big to be beat!
The Orks know that they will be annihilated in this combat and so again used Orks is never beaten to bring down as many of the Templars with them as they can. And the ensuing melee plays out like the last. Despite the masterful swordsmanship of the Templars, the sheer brute force of the Knobs and Boss Badfangs overwhelms the Space Marines. In the carnage of swords, Emperor's champion Keitel steps up to War Boss Badfangs to slay him in single combat. Despite being stabbed through the heart, Boss Badfang's body is not broken. The Sword Brethren rush to his aid, but nothing can stop the big war boss. Boss Badfang severs Keitel's sword arm. The war boss's 4+ feel no pain has saved him from the Emperor's champion. The champion punches the Ork with his other hand, but Boss Badfang simply kicks him aside. The Ork sinks his boot into the champion's chest. An Emperor's champion falling is a bad omen for the Crusade, and the Sword Brethren fight desperately to preserve him. But the strength of the war boss is simply too great, with too many attacks and devastating wounds. His brother's death allows Keitel to pick up the black sword, yet this only angers the war boss, who brutally and savagely rips and tears at the Emperor's champion's body, ripping off his other hand and crushing his skull with a curb stomp for good measure. He grabs the champion's body in his power claw and splits it in half.
Purge the beasts!
Marshal Johannes and Castellan Albrecht are too late to save their champion, but they will avenge him with furious might as they draw swords and attack together. The Marshal curses the beast for his insolence as the bloody war boss swings and ducks under the Templar strikes. Even as the war boss falls, the two knights relentlessly stab at his body as war boss Badfangs continues to struggle and fight against them. Marshal Johannes brings his pistol towards the Ork's jaw, burning the Greenskins' lower jaw away. The vengeance of the knights knows no bounds as they return the war boss's mutilation of the champion in kind. Standing above the broken body, Marshal Johannes, bruised and broken, surveys the battlefield. In just a single melee activation, the tank busters, knobs, war boss, assault intercessors, the Emperor's champion, and almost all of the sword brethren have been completely wiped out. The body count of this battle has been astronomical on both sides. In the Black Templars Crusade rules, if the Emperor's champion falls, a special agenda immediately takes effect, and a special objective marker is set up to represent his body, and the Templars must control it or lose honor points. With their forces all but annihilated, and in the desperate struggle, the Black Templars have failed to perform enough actions to save the pilgrims. Although severing the head of the WAAAGH, this world and its population has been decimated, and there is nothing left to save. The Black Templars have all but lost this battle. And so the rest of the turns have been truncated to show the narrative outcome of the battle. The Storm Speeder's pilot is killed, and the craft goes plummeting into the dirt, allowing the Ork rider to take control of the objective and perform the action. The last remaining sword brother moves towards the final mob of pilgrims and performs the only action the Templars will ever do in this game: to save and extract the pilgrims, as Marshal Johannes stands over the broken body of the Emperor's champion, dropping to one knee and commending his brother's soul to the Emperor. This crusade is his first command. Doubt and bitterness take root in his heart, as he feels personally cursed. Squeakface and Tuska, the last remaining Ork boys, wander the battlefield and make the mistake of interrupting Marshal Johannes' prayer.
Get him!
And with that, the battle ends. With the Orks having clearly won the battle in victory points, despite losing their war boss and much of their WAAAGH. It is still a clear Ork victory. Thank you for watching this battle report. Or should I say, a Sabaton tribute video. With the release of their new song, Templars, just I think a month ago? As well as the Black Templar Codex coming out, I thought it would be a great idea to combine the two together. Now this was a faster game than usual, but that is what happens when you have two melee armies fighting together. And actually, when I played the game, it ended only after 3 turns. And the game time was like 1.5 hours, somewhere around there. so I had to focus on the individual epic moments, which, as you saw, there were many. Yeah, way to go showcase for the new chapter-approved asymmetric missions and the Black Templar Codex. Oh, and this was even the Orks army's first debut. But even though the game was really short, it was still a fun game. Because telling a story with your miniatures is what Narrative 40k is all about. And I know how most people say 10th edition doesn't have a lot of flavor in it, and I somewhat agree in terms of codexes. But when it comes to gameplay, I think you could still have a lot of cool story moments if you set your game up for it. Both the Templar and Ork list are suboptimal when it comes to making a meta list, but it was full of units that we thought were fun to play with, and that would tell a great story if some of the blobs met in the middle, just like what happened. And yeah, the tactics are not the best, like why would you trade one Storm Speeder for one Deathkiller Wartrike? It's really not worth it. And why would you trade one Assault Intercessor with Emperor's Champion and a Sword Brethren squad for just the War Boss and the Knobs, while the rest of the Orks are running around? I would never do that if I were playing competitively, especially since I play Gladius Templars for my competitive list. But that's not the point of narrative games. It's to have cool moments, and that is what we did. Anyway, I apologize for the later release of this video. I initially wanted to showcase the Templar Codex and the chapter-approved missions together about a month back. But real-life tech priest duties called, and I was bogged down with work most weekends as well as a lot of nights, so I didn't have time to focus on this channel. I'm still juggling real-life responsibilities, which takes precedence over everything else, but I'm still trying to make time for 40k. I've got several new video ideas, as well as an experimental 40k game mode that I'm coming up with, which I'll be playtesting next week. It won't come out as a video just yet, but when it does, I'd like to hear your opinion about it, because it'll completely change the way that we play 40k, especially for narrative gamers. So let's see how that goes. So until that time, I will see you on the battlefield.